So I've got this 2006 Dodge Ram 1500 with the 3.7 liter engine and a manual transmission. The oil pan was leaking badly. When I turned the car on, the oil would almost just start pouring out. On investigation, I saw that there was the oil pan was rusted through, and there was a crack that if you pushed your finger on it, you could essentially squeeze the oil out. And so when it pressurized, the oil was just pouring right out of it. I called the dealer. The dealer wanted $1,200 and included 4 hours of labor with parts and oil. I had a friend that I used, and he quoted about $600 for 3 hours of labor, parts and oil. I looked on eBay. The oil pan itself and gasket is only $70. So I figured I'd try that and I'd save quite a bit of money. The job itself is pretty straightforward. You just drain the oil. There's a flange blocking 6 of the bolts to the oil pan, and you've got to take that flange off. It's just 6 bolts and they come off pretty easily. The oil pan itself has got 17 bolts, and that comes off, but then removing the gasket tends to stick to the oil pan, and removing the gasket from the oil pan is a whole nother job, which you'll see in the video. But all together, you could save yourself quite a bit of money, like $500, so it's worth doing. You can see this oil pan is just covered with oil. I can see it dripping. It's really bad. There's a little crack, a little chip, a little rotted part here, but that's not the real problem. The real problem is over here. You can see the entire bottom of the oil pan is cracked. There's a line of what do you call it, rust that goes right across there, and it's just leaking right out. So if I push on it, oh, look at that, it just comes right out. So I had to, this was covered with, caked with oil and crud. I had to scrub it with some steel wool to find this, but this is it, right at the bend. It's just rusted right through. So the first thing you got to do is drain the oil. There's 100 videos on how to do it, but essentially you got to take this plug off, let all the oil drain out, and then you can start working on the other parts of it. So after that, you got to take this bracket off. This bracket kind of hides a whole bunch of the bolts. You can see all of these bolts, except the ones behind the bracket. And so there's 3 bolts on this side and 3 bolts on this side. I'm not sure if they're all the same length, so I spray painted 2 of them yellow, and it looks like they're 15 millimeters, and I'm going to try and take them out. Yeah, so I took those bolts out, and this was kind of stuck on there, so I had to tap it with a hammer, and it fell right out. You can see it's a little rusty in there, but now you could get access to these bolts that are behind here. There's like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 bolts that were behind there, and you can see the back of this. It's a little rusty. I'll just brush that off. I'll put the wire brush on that, clean that up. So, but it was stuck on a little bit, so just tap it with the hammer. It'll fall out. Just make sure it doesn't fall on your head. Yeah, after you get that bracket off,
You could take out the little 10mm bolts. There's 17 of them going all the way around. On mine, there was one that had a nut on it, so I marked that with the yellow spot there. These are metal going into aluminum, so they're only torqued to maybe 6 or 8, so they should come out real easy. And when you put them in, you got to be careful not to strip anything. Just be real careful. Next, I'm going to try and get the pan out. They say if you knock it with a hammer, it might come out. I don't have that many hands, so I'm going to give that a try. Yeah, with all the screws out, I was able to loosen it by banging on this side of the oil pan using a wooden block so I wouldn't bang right through it, and then a big 2-pound hammer. And I banged it. I must have banged it like, I don't know, maybe 10 times, and you can see it's almost ruptured there, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to take this off. But now it's loose. It's loose, but it's not coming off, and I think it's because the gasket is stuck to the oil pan, which is a big problem because the gasket is also screwed into the to the engine. So I have to figure out how to separate the gasket from the oil pan. I have to go around the edge of it and chip it away somehow. That's going to be a pain, but that's next. So to separate the gasket from the oil pan, I'm going to try a few different things. I've got this multi-tool with the sharp blade, this one here. I've got a couple of nail pullers that I've sharpened a lot. This is a big one for a lot of leverage, and a smaller one for tighter spaces or less leverage, whatever. I've been successful somewhat in that using the multi-tool, I was able to get in there and kind of open it up, and then using the smaller thing, I was able to wedge it in there. So I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I'm going to work all the way around. Hopefully it's going pretty well. Hopefully I'll get halfway around, then it'll pop off. If not, I got to go all the way around. So anyhow, that's some ways. Other guys have used the pick or a screwdriver, but you know, just use your imagination, use what you got. Here you can see I got the one side pretty much done. I turned this tool around to get a little more leverage, and it just kind of popped. So now I'm going to work around to the other side, and it took a lot less time than I thought. Yeah, so I came around the front side. I had to actually move to the front and attacked it this way. The passenger side is really tight, so I just kind of drove my tool in from the front, you know, along there. Just got to watch out for that wire. It's mostly, oh wait, now it's coming. Oh, that's it. Just pop right out. Okay, that's the oil pan gasket separating from the oil pan, and you can see the pickup tube and whatever crap's in there. I gotta be careful. Yeah, so with the oil pan dropped, you could get access to the pickup tube nut. You could see it right there, and then there are bolts, and then there's 2 nuts. I can only show one at a time, but the other one looks the same. 2 nuts that hold the gasket on. So if you take all that out, I couldn't get the oil pan out, but I think I got to take the pickup tube and the gasket and the oil pan out all at once, because the pickup tube is blocking the area for the oil pan to get removed, and then got to put it back in the same way. Once you get the bolt off for the pickup tube and the two nuts, this will pull. You got to pull a little bit, and it'll pull right out, and then you can slide the oil pan. I don't know if I could do it with one hand, but I can't really do it with one hand. But this oil pan will come right out through the front, and then you can clean up this surface. You can see it's not too bad, but you just clean that up with a rag and some solvent, and then you can start putting it back together. So be sure to clean this surface with a rag and some solvent. I just use some isopropyl alcohol. You can see it got it pretty shiny all the way around. There's no nicks or anything from the disassembly, so that's good. For the pickup tube, make sure that you put in a new O-ring that should come with the kit, and put some oil on that, and then you can start reassembling this by putting this with the gasket in the tray, and then putting it back up. Okay, so for reassembly, you could put that bolt back on lightly and then torque it down to 20. Put these two nuts on lightly, or bolts on lightly, and torque them down to 20. Before you do that, it's a good idea to put a couple of I put like 5 or 6 piloting screws, bolts in to line up the gasket, so when you tighten these screws back here, that it's easy to get the bolts in around the edges. One note is taking out and putting in the oil pan. I found you can't just pull it forward. You have to pull it forward and then rotate it 90 degrees, and it'll fall through this big slot here, which is pretty nice. It's a little bit tight, but if you jiggle with it, you'll be able to get it in and out, no problem. Yeah, so tighten these down and then torque them to about 8 foot-pounds, or just tighten them. If you don't have a torque wrench, just tighten them about the same as it felt coming off, which is pretty tight, but try not to strip them. Then you could put this bracket back on. They recommend putting the 4 vertical bolts in first, and then the 2 horizontal bolts in second. I do that on each side, and then torque them to 40 foot-pounds. Also, make sure to torque your drain plug to 25. Mine came torqued to 25, but you know, who knows, you don't want it to fall out. Then just put the oil in and start it up, take it down the ramps, and you should be done. Yeah, so put the oil in, finished up, no leaks, it's pretty good. We'll see how long that lasts, but I think that's the thing. So pretty straightforward job. Drain the oil, take off the bracket, take off all the screws, separate the gasket from the pan, and then take down the old gasket and pipe, and then put it all back together. So here's the torque schedule for the Ram 1500 oil pan. I had gotten this from
one of the other videos. So I'm including this here to save a little bit of time looking around. Essentially, you start at one on one side, go to 2 and 3, and then go back and forth all the way around. The torque is somewhere like around between 8 and 9 foot-pounds. So if you have like a small, whatever, quarter-inch torque wrench, you could probably do that. My 3/8 torque wrench really wouldn't work with that, so I just kind of did it by hand. It seemed to work okay.